Hey guys, it's Girl Got Game. Welcome back to Steam Prison. Today we have some stories, some cute little stories about happy children singing and terrified children facing the oncoming destruction. So yeah, kind of feel good and not so feel good, I guess. But this should give us some lore behind people's view of both the heights and the depths. And hopefully a little more backstory on the deluge that happened as well. So I think this will be good info to have going forward. But yeah, let's start with the heights and see what happens. I don't know how long these are. Once upon a time, all lived on the surface. The surface also held many dangerous animals. Living alone was difficult. Everyone lived together, helping each other with the troubles they had. I just want to say, this view reminds me of Attack on Titan a lot. Steampunk watch or a lantern? The people asked themselves how they could improve their lives. That led to countless developments. Lamps that lit the dark when the sun was gone. Clocks that rang to wake you up. They made many, many things. One day, someone smart noticed. A great flood might come, they said. And when it comes, we have nothing to eat and nowhere to live. Oh no, they exclaimed. The people panicked. We need to do something before it comes, they said. The smart people met and pooled their knowledge. They came up with a plan to live in the sky. They quickly built a laboratory in the sky. It was small and couldn't fit everyone. How can we save everyone? The scientists asked. They had no answer. And then the flood came at last. The animals, the buildings, everything was washed away. Only the scientists in the sky survived. The scientists suffered and wept for many days, but their tears could not bring back the dead. They decided to build a new society, one which the people on the surface could be proud of. But some on the surface had survived the flood. They had no shelter and no food, but they too were determined to live. And so, the world in the sky is called the heights, and the world below is called the depths. A world split in two. Okay, so that's the story they tell you in the heights about the flood. What about the depths? Once upon a time, all lived on the surface. The surface also held many dangerous animals. Living alone was difficult. Everyone lived together, helping each other with the troubles they had. The people asked themselves how they could improve their lives. That led to countless developments. Lamps that lit the dark when the sun was gone. Clocks that rang to wake you up. They made many, many things. The more they made, the happier they became. The city and its buildings became larger and the people more plentiful. And one day, some of them began to build an enormous structure. The others asked them whether it was a tower, and they said no. This is a symbol of our bond, they said. The structure was very tall, and nobody knew when it would be finished, but nobody said it was a waste or that it would never be finished. They lived to make things possible, and so they were impressed, looking forward to the structure's completion. The structure was finished, and the people celebrated. It was even possible to enter it. First, the ones who built the structure entered it. The others accepted this and waited for their turn. It never came. The earth rumbled and shook. The buildings collapsed. Nobody understood what was happening. The people were confused. A loud noise came towards them. It was a lot of water, a great flood. The animals, the buildings, everything was washed away. We can flee to there, they cried. They ran towards the tall structure. They cried for help, begging to be let inside, but the door remained closed. The people who built the structure pretended not to know. Many people died in the flood. Food and their inventions were all washed away, but some survived. Everything had been taken from them, but they were determined to live. They resented those who had fled into the sky. And so, those abandoned on the surface lived in the depths, and those who abandoned them below lived in the heights. A world split in two. How very interesting. Huh. Alright, so, going from this, I've got a couple of theories about this whole flood situation. I find it interesting that both stories start pretty much the same, so we can basically take that as truth for sure. But I don't buy the heights part. Where is it now? I just want to get to that. It's about when the flood started. Someone smart noticed. A great flood might come, they said. Oh no, they panicked. Like, what basis did they have for thinking a flood might come? It doesn't sound like there had ever been a flood before. And they're just like, oh, you know, it would be really bad if a flood were to come, so let's build this thingy. So I don't buy that. My theory is that the people that ended up living in the heights probably wanted to build a utopia of sorts and caused a flood to come and wash away all the degenerates. So only like the chosen few, like the smartest people, the richest, who they considered like the ultimate part of society would be saved. And once the flood had washed away everything, they would come back from the heights and repopulate the surface. But that didn't work because some people did survive. And so now that's why there's a population plan in place. Because I wondered if maybe the survivors of the flood outnumbered the people in the heights still, so they were never able to retake the depths again. But that's I don't buy it would be really bad if a flood came. Let's build this thing just in time for the one time the flood just happened to come. I don't buy that. So that's my one theory. The other thing that's very interesting is both stories have this. Where is it? Where is it? I think I might have skipped over it. Hold on. I know both parts had it. Let me go to the heights first just to confirm I'm not completely crazy. This. The surface held many dangerous animals. It's such a throwaway line. I want to make sure it's also in the depth story. It just seems like a very random thing to throw in. It's like, held many dangerous animals. I mean, maybe it's because to tell you that no one lived alone. They had to live together because of these dangerous animals. But I find it interesting. It doesn't seem like any of the dangerous animals survived the flood. Not that we've encountered anything. I think the only animals that have been mentioned in the game so far have been horses. But you're telling me that humans survived the flood, but not any of these animals? So I'm wondering if it wasn't animals per se, but it might have been really dangerous humans, because the only other animals we hear about, or animalistic people, is the hounds, which I think is very interesting. Was there an organization like the Hounds back then, and they've kind of been rebranded? Because it seems like both the heights and the depths do not like the Hounds. The heights are just like, well, better to have this dangerous group on a leash of sorts, but if they die, we really don't care. And the Depths don't want anything to do with the Hounds. They'd like to get rid of them as much as possible. So there you go. There's my theories about what we learned lore-wise. It was very interesting to hear both sides. I would love to hear if you have any theories about what we just read. Please comment down below. Would love to hear it. Whether you agree or disagree with my own, and if you have anything to add, would be really awesome. But I'm glad we read through that. That'll give me some good context going forward. But for now, we must say adieu to Steam Prison, because we are all donezo with that. And now we are going back to Changeling, and it is Danny Boy's turn, so I'm really excited to get into that. Hopefully you'll be able to join me for that Werewolf Boys route. And yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you later.